Well, congratulations on 10 lives.
Thank you.
Chris, let's start with you. Tell us a little bit about the story that you wanted to tell in this movie.
Well, I wanted to tell a story in the older animation style that had tons of warmth. It wasn't trying to be a spectacle in the usual way, although I think we hit some of those points too. It was um it was definitely looking for lives of animals because I love animals. I've got about a gajillion at home, and we're always as pet owners putting our different voices into the different pets.
Yeah. So Simone and Mo, tell us both about your characters a little bit in the film, and then also how you approach a voice role versus a live action role.
Yeah, I play Rose, who is one of our loved characters in this movie. She is very kind, huge, a very kind person with a huge heart. She wants to take care of the bees and the environment around her. She's very passionate about that, and she wants to be good at what she does. And unexpectedly she meets Beckett and she discovers this new friendship that never really was a part of her plan. And Beckett just captures her heart. And yeah, together with Rose and Beckett, we kind of go down that journey and that friendship together. And I think it's so different than my work doing live action work because you are forced to use your imagination in a much more heightened way, especially when it's uh, bringing a relationship with an animal to life. You're not going to be in the studio with a talking cat,
Yeah.
and you're gonna really
Oh.
have to really, yeah, you've got to believe it. And I think it helps that I have a pet, and as Chris was saying, we can't help but personify our pets and give them voices. So yeah, I think that was something that came easily to me, and obviously with Chris's amazing direction and Rose performance, it was just they did most of the work and I was just reacting off of it as well.
Mo?
Obviously, he was out here singing songs with Zayn Malik.
That was cool. Okay, that was yeah.
No, I think for me, this is my first opportunity in this space. So getting a chance to have my introduction into this world as voicing a cat like Beckett was so fun because he is this lovable cat who's crafty but then pampered, but then there's times where and I'm like, this cat isn't it's not a nice cat, it's trying to kill someone's boyfriend by taking off a wheel on a car. And then there's times where I fall in love with the cat where I'm like, okay, I want this cat to really win now, like, and I'm like, I start to embody the cat where I'm like, come on, bros, recognize me. I know I'm a cockroach or a horse, but it's still me, and I think that was the really cool thing about this film is that there's so many layers to it in some ways, and you've got characters in different spaces, and it's like Chris says, they all come together. Rose is an independent scientist who's almost trying to, like, make ends meet, but she's got something she's passionate about, but she still has time to look after this cat that she's found. And I'm a person where I'm this cat who's as crafty, who's like, listen, I've been abandoned before, and I'm in the outside of, as we call it in the cat world, and I need a lovable home. So yeah, it's how I then become like, okay, cool, I'm gonna try. I'm here to get a warm night's sleep and some food, and it becomes a bond in some ways. And it's yeah, it's a fun family film that's funny, and it's just got a lot of layers to it that just brings like your imagination to it. So I couldn't help but bring that to Beckett in some ways.
So
Well, they're so contrasting, Rose and Beckett. Like, he's so like funny and has that edge, and like you say, like just some of the stuff, like the one liners that Beckett has, and then Rose is kind of just really, gentle and kind, and it's just so nice to see them bounce off each other, and like in a scene, the difference between the both of them is really great.
One of my funniest parts is the intro where Beckett gets taken home to Rose's house for the first time, And you know, you got to remember this cat has been abandoned and he gets rescued, and his first thing is like, "Oh, you live here."
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
and I think for any cat that must be the same thing, where it's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Definitely.
Yeah.
that,
And then owns the place.
Yeah.
To the point that one of my favorite lines in the movie is when as Beckett you say, "Oh, Sammy, listen to the cat."
Yeah.
That's what they like.
Yeah.
So do you all
Yeah.
have pets that you kind of imagine the inner worlds of these animals and sort of bring that to
Yeah.
your performances?
Gosh, totally. My dog deserves like her own comic book series. I've gone that deep into like her world and like the songs I like, you know, it could be like top 40, like one of the like most popular songs out there, and I just change the lyrics to her name, sing it to her, and you know, we all do it.
Yeah, I'm a dog person, so getting into the cat world for me was like, oh, okay. It was quite easy to kind of like understand where Beckett was like, because I've always been like, oh, cats are quite spoiled, aren't they? Like they're a lot different from dogs. But then weirdly enough, I grew up. My mum's always been into birds. We grew up having parrots. So yeah, I've kind of grown up in the world of having an animal that speaks back to me, which was quite surreal. So weirdly enough, there's a moment where you know Beckett ends up being a bird. So that scene itself was like,
Outstanding.
oh, thank you very much.
So Chris, I know you had a little known guy named Zayn Malik working on this as well. Tell us, give us a story about working with Zayn on the film.
Well, I mean, it was fantastic, and and honestly, I was pensive going into the recording because you never know with rock stars. Honestly, are they gonna turn up with an entourage? Are they gonna be? I like to work to get to the core of the personality, the truth of the person. Now, I was completely wrong in feeling any anxiety because Zane is just, he's a really humble dude and with a voice like an angel. And it was fantastic. He hadn't acted before, so that was it was it was tricky at some points, but then it was maybe for about 5 minutes, and then we were really into it. And he was great. He's playing two characters, and you really feel those characters. You know, they are they're two baddies, but they're not bad. They're not bad enough to be baddies. They're bad baddies, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
They're not good at what they do. They want to please their mum, who at the time the movie's being shot is still in prison. Yeah, there's a lovely pathos about their comedy, and Zane played it great. He's it.
Yeah. So the film sort of poses this question about how would you live your life if you had it to live again? So for each of you, let's hear what you guys would do if we do come back as an animal. Would you what would your wish be?
Oh, it's a great question. I think I'm a fan of the sun. So if I got to live my last hours on the earth, it'd just be like I just want as long as there's sun. No, who wants to
Yeah.
go out cold,
Yeah.
freezing? Not me. Yeah, I just want sunshine, man. Sunshine and good food, and maybe some alcohol as well. Yeah, yeah, that's where I'm.
Real
Yeah.
fun to the
I think
Yeah.
I'm in your dream there too, man.
beach. Yeah.
Like the pina colada, a sunbed, maybe you know. Yeah, I think the message is really for everybody to be able to take and say, and to remember, and you might have done things a little bit better, you know, or you might have been kinder to that person you only met once. Um, Certainly Beckett's path is one of being sort of useful and then being not a very nice guy, and then how that turns by the people you meet. I think I mean, in some ways, it's about being wise to the people you do meet along the way and learning something from everybody.
Simone?
Um, Gosh, it's such a Very profound question. Is the question, how would I live my life if I were to do it again?
Yeah.
Yeah, such a profound question. I think maybe I'd just get animals sooner. Just, I got my first dog when I was in my 20s and my cat when I was like a teenager. So if I could, I want to, I want to have puppies and babies at the same time. Let's put it that way. So if I could be a kid again, I'd wish that I had a puppy. Let's put it that way. I don't know if that answers the question.
I would invest in Apple.
Yes, great. That's a great question. Answer to the question. Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you very much for taking time to talk to us. I enjoyed watching the film and enjoy the rest of Sundance.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so
Great,
much, man.
great speaking to you.
Thank
See you
you.
later.
Cheers.
Thanks for watching the You Interview channel. With over 3,000 original celebrity videos, we have one of the largest collections of celebrity interviews anywhere. So remember to like and comment on our videos and subscribe to the channel. If you want to get more involved, you can become a member of the channel. Membership has its perks. You can see exclusive celebrity videos and get the opportunity to ask our celebrity guests questions. We can't wait to hear from you.